instructions. The ultimate bliss of Buddhahood, the fantastic ability, comes naturally within us. Another excellent example of the time dilation effect is best illustrated by Einstein's twin paradox. Let's say if the above-mentioned spacecraft were to return Earth after 20 years. Of course, these 20 years are according to the Earth calendar. The passengers on these fast-moving spacecraft will have aged less than 20 years of the Earth's time. So let's suppose there are two twin brothers who are born on the same day. And after they were born, they were separated in this following manner. The ground twin and the space twin takes a journey such as in the spacecraft that we described above. The ground twin now becomes 20 years older. And the space twin, upon return, appears to have aged, say, just 3 years. Because time has shortened from 20 years to 3 years for the space twin. And his bodily functions in aging have proceeded more slowly. Let's take a step further. Theoretically, the space traveler sees his return as a step into the future, from 3 years old to 20 years old. And on the other hand, if time can be shortened to a zero and then to a negative value, then the traveler, the spacecraft traveler, moves backward in time from now to the present, from now to the past. So we believe this could be true. And in Sutra, we know that Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are able to actually enter the infinite past or enter the infinite future at one single moment. As Bodhisattva Universal Worthy says in the Flower Adornment Sutra. He said, I can clearly behold the state of the future and combine all coming eons into one instantaneous thought. I can also penetrate all the eons of the past, the present, and the future at one single instant. To further illustrate this point, I want to cite an example from Buddhism literature, which is analogous to Einstein's twin brother paradox. Say there are, in the Buddha's Sutra, it is said there were 3 brothers who practiced very hard in order to be reborn in the heaven and follow Bodhisattva Mila's teaching over there. These 3 brothers all promised to each other. Whoever went to the heaven first should come back to notify the other 2 brothers on the ground. So after some years, one brother went to the heaven and never returned. Then a few years later, the second brother went to the heaven and then 3 years later returned to see his third brother on ground. The third brother asked him. The second brother denied. He said, no, I have been in the heaven for only a few moments. As soon as I pay my respect to Bodhisattva Mila, I return to see you. But when I come back, 3 years have passed on the ground. So from this example, we know that there is a big time dilation effect between the ground and the heaven. So we can see heaven as a different space-time of different dimensions. In summary, space and time are varying and illusory phenomena. Under some conditions, space and time can be changed. The recent discovery of the black holes demonstrates this notion. According to NASA space scientists, space and time can reverse themselves in a black hole. This means and time becomes space-like. What we call time does change to something with the mathematical properties we have normally associated with space, and vice versa. And the second topic I'd like to discuss today is that things can be created from nothing. Talking about this notion, let me first quote NASA astronomer Dr. Stan Odenwald's statement about the idea. He said, "Nature has over the years presented to us with many physical situations where our intuition about how things ought to behave has been shown to be absolutely false. For example, people age differently if they are moving. Space can dilate. Matter can be created out of pure energy. Matter can be created spontaneously out of vacuum." In this section, I want to present things can be created from nothing. Without spending too much time in explaining the mathematical formulas, we can borrow Einstein's conclusion of the principle of equivalence of mass and energy. That is, under certain conditions, energy can condense to mass. And conversely, mass can be convertible to energy. Let's look at this formula. This is the famous of the formulas Einstein proposed. The formula says the energy, E, is equal to the mass, m, times the light speed, c squared. This formula tells us that the mass can be converted into energy as long as you have enough speed in it. And vice versa, if we rearrange this formula, we can easily see that the mass is actually equal to energy divided by c squared. So in other words, with sufficient energy, you can create mass or matters. In fact, this mass-energy equivalence forms the basis of recovering huge amounts of energy by tapping into the nuclei of atoms. The energy released from the explosion of an atomic bomb is derived from this theoretical relationship. On the other hand, matter or mass can be created if enough energy is applied to some volume of space. This means one can literally make up something out of air. In fact, in the micro world, we see things are created from nothing all the time. This reminds us of the sayings in the Infinite Life Sutra.